The Spice Seller's Secret, The Language of the Souk, Marrakesh, 1928. The Gemma Elfna in Marrakesh in 1928 was a labyrinth of sound and color, but the old Medina where Amina kept her stall was a kingdom ruled by scent. Amina's corner was famous. Mountains of pulverized turmeric, pyramids of russet paprika, and burlap sacks overflowing with dry, fragrant rosebuds. She was an artisan of aroma, knowing the provenance of every seed and root. Amina viewed scent as a truth serum. A woman might smile while asking for common cumin, but the true nature of her anxieties would be revealed by the sharpness of the black pepper she selected, or the amount of cooling mint she bought to calm her nerves. Then there was Rafik. He was a poet whose fame had yet to reach beyond the narrow alleys of the Medina, but he was wealthy in observation. He spent his days in the cool quiet of the libraries, trying to capture the elusive life of the city in verse. Rafik's visits were not for cooking. They were a daily, delicate ritual. He would approach her stall, hands tucked into the sleeves of his jalaba, and request a single spice. "Amina," he'd greet her, his voice a quiet counterpoint to the market's cacophony. "Today I need the scent of clarity." She would hand him a vial of pure, sharp cardamom, knowing its piercing aroma cut through confusion. The next day, it would be the scent of courage. She would offer dark, intoxicating saffron, the tiny threads carrying the fiery gold of the sun. He claimed he could not begin a new poem until he had sniffed the soul of the emotion he wished to capture. Through his demands, he revealed his own heart to her, a complex soul yearning for fire and quiet contemplation in equal measure. Amina, in turn, spoke to him through her selection. She was not just selling spices. She was conducting a subtle, sensory conversation, the search for the unknown soul. The ritual continued for nearly a year. Rafik worked his way through the known world of flavors and feelings. He asked for passion, cayenne, peace, lavender, nostalgia, cinnamon bark. With each transaction, the invisible thread binding them grew tauter. One stifling afternoon, the game faltered. Rafik looked defeated, his eyes empty of the usual poetic intensity. "Amina," he sighed, pushing his hand through a bowl of common coriander seeds. "I am lost. My latest verses are stale. I have captured every known emotion, but I cannot capture the future. I cannot write the poem of what is yet to come." He stood there, waiting for her to give him a spice for prophecy or hope. But Amina knew the market held no such simple jar. The future was not a single scent, it was a compound. She looked at the poet, at his sensitive hands, his earnest eyes that always seemed to search for the hidden meaning beneath the surface. She realized he wasn't asking for an ingredient for a poem. He was asking for the recipe for her. She dismissed him gently. "Return tomorrow, Rafik. This particular scent must be composed." The composition of desire. That evening, Amina closed her stall early and began the work of creation. She didn't use the grand, famous spices. She worked with intuition, following the hidden map of her own heart. She began with a base of warm, grounding cloves for loyalty and deep roots. To that, she added a fine shaving of cedar wood for strength and the promise of shelter. She then added a vibrant, complex layer, the delicate, feminine sweetness of dried jasmine buds and the sharp, bright counterpoint of fresh lime zest, the exhilarating scent of risk. Finally, she finished it with a single, almost imperceptible trace of ambergris, a rich, earthy note that spoke of long, deep devotion. It was a volatile, breathtaking blend, a scent that was grounded in the earth but soared with the promise of light. It was her soul, exposed and perfectly balanced. The next morning, Rafik returned, his gaze anxious. Amina did not wait for his request. She reached beneath the counter, pulled out a small, unadorned clay jar sealed with a piece of her own wax, and placed it in his hand. "What is this?" he asked, the jar cool and heavy. Amina met his eyes, her heart pounding a quick rhythm beneath her apron. "That," she said, her voice clear and low, "is the scent of someone I might love, Rafik. It is the beginning of the poem I am waiting for you to write." The promise kept. Rafik did not open the jar immediately. He simply carried it, tucked inside his tunic all day. He went to the library, but he could not read. He went to the coffee house, but he could not speak. The clay jar pulsed with an unknown energy. He returned to the empty, quiet courtyard of his home, sat down at his writing desk, and finally unsealed the wax. The aroma hit him, complex, feminine, utterly new. It was loyalty and tenderness, boldness and home. It was the scent of a permanent, inevitable future. He inhaled deeply and understood that this was not a poem of an emotion, but a portrait of a person. He wrote all night, driven by the furious, fragrant energy of the blend. He returned to Amina's stall the next morning, not with a payment, but with the crisp, folded paper of his completed work. He presented it to her, his hand trembling slightly. It was a flawless ghazal, a collection of rhyming couplets woven together by a central theme. Amina opened the paper, and her eyes scanned the lines until she found the beginning.